I'm Daniel.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is In a Nutshell Podcast. Welcome to episode 4 of In a Nutshell Podcast,
where we break down movies, shows, and all the news that come with them. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Been working all day, though, but now we're here doing something great, right?
Yep, doing something great, as always.
And I don't have any new movies for you guys this week. I didn't see anything new. I'm probably going to go see The Smashing Machine tomorrow with The Rock. That's the first movie where The Rock is going to be playing anything other than The Rock.
Oh, my God.
He's going to be playing
There's still an eyebrow being lifted up, though.
Maybe.
There's still an eyebrow being lifted up.
Maybe.
I watched half of World War Z when I was working. It was slow. What can you say?
What can you say? What can you say?
But anyways,
that movie.
We have a special announcement for today.
Yes, we do have a special guest. Not announcement.
Same thing, you know.
Bro. Yes, we do got a special guest today. He is someone very important to us. He is our professor at Broward College. He's also the best DP here, D1 DP. And his name is Nathan Makita. We would like to welcome Mr. Nathan Makita here today on the podcast. What's up?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've been very excited to get him on the podcast today. Because we do, he's obviously our professor. He teaches, he taught us
They couldn't
documentary.
get anyone else.
That's not true.
No.
That's
no.
We have a whole list of people waiting. No matter
We were text after text. Can you do it?
Yes, we texted him once every hour, every single day.
Yeah,
Like, can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it?
I just know he's about to block us, you know.
And he goes, fine, I'll do it just for you guys to shut up. But yes, he taught us. You taught us documentary filmmaking in the spring, and now you're teaching us tech support. And I'm glad that we have you for tech support because we've learned so much just in the little bit of span of time we've had you for the fall season. But let's get into the basic thing, I guess, for most interviews when it comes to this is what's your background? Who are you? You know what I mean?
Well, before we go into that, so where are we learning the most, guys? So we've done 2 shorts in the last, I guess, like 6 months.
Let me tell you guys.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. He taught me sound in 10 minutes.
That's crazy.
He taught me sound in 10 minutes. Now I know how to sound mix.
Yeah, it's more so like we didn't have a sound guy. I was like, hey, we're learning on the job.
Yep, basically. And I also really appreciate the way that you do like lighting, because in my opinion, the way that you do lighting is very like realistic. Because yes, there's obviously, the way to do lighting with the 3-point lighting and stuff like that. But yeah, I love how because it's the way that we used to do in high school. We used to bounce light off of walls, use the natural light coming in, put light through the windows, stuff like that. But you enhance that. And I do appreciate the way that you kind of do that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, so I guess with that, I can start talking a little bit about my background. So I was a theater kid.
Hey.
Fire.
I started doing theater when I was like 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my dad was a theater kid, so he got me involved early, and a lot of my lighting chops I learned in theater.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just it's the same basic principles. Kind of what you were saying, Daniel. It's like we want to enhance what's available. We want to think very much about practical lighting, motivated lighting, and then like bring that up, right? So figure out what would be realistic and then just basically enhance that. That's how I approach it. And
yeah, I can agree with you because I took one theater class my junior year, and that is true because they use it's almost like using like the things around you. You have the lighting, you got your stage and all the props that you have to use. But I can say that, and Ryan, if you can agree with me or not, that theater has a lot to do with film.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, one question for you. What did you mainly do in theater? Like, were you mainly on the stage, mainly like behind the scenes? Like, what did you do?
So I was mostly focused on musical theater. That was my first declaration in college. I was a musical theater major.
Interesting.
And,
so you can,
I did, because I was in community theater. So Youngstown Playhouse, spent a lot of time there when I was a kid. So back and forth, you would do, you would play a role in one of the plays, and then you would alternate with, the troupe, and then, do the back of the stage stuff. And like, that was my summers for a long time. And then in college, I realized that I didn't really I wasn't as competitive as I needed to be as an actor. So I realized that I was an amateur. I was doing it for the love, and I didn't see it as a career path. So I kept it as a minor and did a lot more backstage work, and that's where I got more into the lighting designs. I mean, probably when I was like 15, I did Oklahoma. I ran the board for a couple big productions at the Playhouse. The
Really?
Young Sound. Yeah. So so yeah, I was always kind of like back and forth in that. Film happened because my one of my theater instructors in my minor, the last year that I was there, and I had switched my major to psychology. So the last year I was there, she was like, "You know what? You've always." It was a script writing, screenplay writing class, and or script writing class. And she was like, "You always kind of wrote for like. I always felt your scripts would translate better into screenplays." And so she was like, "Communications department is offering a class, and they're going to make a short film. You should go check it out." She got me in there, and then we ended up shooting this film that was like these two people like falling in love at series. And I probably told you guys this story in like film one, because I always give my background, but it was like two people falling in love in at a series of like red lights. And
Oh yeah, you did tell us about this. Yeah.
yeah, and
I do not remember this.
You told us this in nonfiction. Yeah.
That was like a
Yeah.
year ago. Like I don't even remember what happened yesterday for dinner.
He did tell us. Yeah. I remember this one.
yeah, so basically the big challenge was, okay, well, we're not going to be shutting down the street. We're not going to be, we're not going to be able to get like a sled to like take the car or anything like that. So how do we get them at these red lights and green lights? And that's where the theater lighting came in. I was like, oh, we'll just take it in the backyard, black out one side, and just faders, green light, red light, and just take
Yep.
another light and mimic the street lights.
Mhm.
And that blew everybody's mind. And that's when it was like, oh, okay, I got bit right there.
Literally, little do they know that that's how a lot of car scenes are shot. Actually.
Yeah, just with the
Yeah.
screen. Just put
Literally.
Kiki next to the window. Just shine some lights and
Literally,
Yeah,
most.
mimic.
What happened?
Yeah, I was gonna say we mimic movement on stage all the time with shadows and light.
Literally, you guys move like if you want to show something like say changing scenes, you got to move all the props out the way, and then here come the trees, and now you're in a field, and that's literally big budget movies do that. They sit a car, and if I'm correct or not, but if I've seen the behind the scenes, they literally sit a car in the middle of like a soundstage, and they have a huge gigantic screen. That's how they filmed the Lex Luthor scene where he's in the office talking. It's literally a screen. It's
yeah, I
not
remember
life.
like even the other day when we watched The Penguin, it was the Penguin in the car,
A car. That's a screen.
and you said that it was a screen.
A screen. Yeah,
Crazy.
it's a screen. So. Did you always love movies when you were a kid, or did you only like watch musicals because you were in theater?
Yeah, I'm not a movie buff. I won't be
Really?
a movie buff. Nope.
Interesting. And that's a lot of people actually. Like, I've met some people in the film that are like, yeah, I don't really watch movies, and it's like, really, it's pretty interesting. So, do you watch like musicals?
I mean, I know a lot of the musicals just from being around theater for so many years. Um, so I mean, the music you talking about, like the movies that are musicals?
The movies.
Yeah. So I like those movies. I mean, I like the older ones.
Like Singing in the Rain.
I was just thinking that.
Sure. West Side Story.
Professor Fink would not agree with you.
Yeah, West Side Story is a great movie. Still to this day, I still love to watch that movie. I mean, some of them are campy, of course, but
See, like my personal favorite one. I don't know if you like it or not, but my personal favorite is The Greatest Showman. I love The Greatest Showman. I don't know why. There's just something about The Greatest Showman that I like.
yeah, there's some really great music in that film. I do like some of the numbers. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but I recall feeling that it was more about. I really couldn't tell you what the story's about right now.
No, I understand. Well, speaking of like movies like Singing in the Rain, this kind of tosses into our next thing real quick, and I do love hearing, especially like you, Jatalo's opinion and other professors' opinion, even like our old mentors from high school and whatnot. But I want to know, like, do you think that movies were made better back then, like maybe 30, 40 years, or made better back then than they were today?
Yeah, so in terms of story and character development, I think a lot of people feel today that stories have gotten a little bit hollow, and I think the industry has to play it really safe right now. It's tough to make a lot of money on a film, not how it used to be, let's say. But yeah, I think there's definitely amongst I think audience members that movies, characters, story development, and maybe even like the Hollywood actor are kind of like um not the Hollywood actor, but like like the Cary Grants and the even like the George
Mhm.
Clooney's and the
I
just the
can,
big name
yeah,
actors
I can see that.
So
that is going away or dwindling as well. Go ahead.
yeah, so do you think that is also kind of like the reason as well? Like movie theaters are slowly dying out now too as well.
Yeah, that's been happening for a long time. And then
Yeah.
COVID kind of just put the nail in the coffin.
Mm.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Especially with all these like streaming platforms now. I mean, personally, I have every single one, and I can just watch any movie anytime. Yeah, sometimes it's $4, but it's a lot cheaper than just going to a movie theater and spending $12 on a ticket, $15 on popcorn.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and let me ask this. So obviously you have been doing this way longer than us, and you were doing it at a time where digital was coming up. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
So how has it changed from when you first started to now? How has it been easier? How has it been harder? Like in a sense, kind of like in that way.
Well, also, the technology is getting ridiculously good, obviously. So in a way, it's a lot easier today to approach the industry. Um, so I like to tell you guys, and I've told you guys this already as well. So, you're entering into an industry where like everybody is good,
Mm.
right? And it's being democratized. Like the amount, like I could spend $4,000 today on a camera that, like the Sony FX3, for example, that has technology in it that was like not approachable a decade ago for less than 25,000 and even higher.
Mhm.
Um, so it's really we're getting into a phase of art in general. Unless you're in one of the mediums of like drawing and painting, where really like it's your hands.
Yeah.
We're getting into an era where the technology is really going to make it so there really is no barrier um, to what you can create with very, very little
Mhm.
dollars. So all right, so started shooting on Super 16. I started my master's. I got my bachelor's in psychology and then got my master's in film. And I started that in 2009 and I graduated in 2012 for with my master's. And we started on Super 16 and when I was in that program is when the 5D Mark II came out and totally changed everything with really high quality 1080 footage out of a
Mhm.
DSLR, right? So that happened and we kind of never went back. But so you can imagine on Super 16, trying to get exposure on whatever it was 500 ISO film.
Hmm.
It just was a lot. It was a lot more complicated to do that. And now again with like an FX3, you have a native ISO of like 12,800. I mean, you could light the darn thing with your cell phone.
Exactly.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
The flashlights on your cell phones. It's getting to that point. So in a way, it's the best time ever to be a filmmaker. But it's also the most competitive time ever to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, because
So we need more.
Sorry, go
Sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
We need more content than ever. So that's good. The technology is democratized. It's approachable for almost anyone. So that's good. So now maybe in a way it's a little scary because whether or not you succeed or fail
Hmm.
is on you.
Well, do you think also, speaking of like the creative side, this will be the last thing we get into with this. Um, do you think that there's just so much oversaturation with everything to the point where there's so much stuff when someone writes a story, you kind of sit there and be like, yeah, it's already kind of been done before. Do you think that's also an issue or no?
I don't buy into it's already been done before. A good story is a good story.
I agree.
There's so many personal experiences that you know I talk a lot about underlying themes Yeah, everything's been done before, right? Everything's already happened under the sun, but that doesn't mean I walk down the street and people watch for 10 seconds and completely, get engrossed with like just faceless stories, that I just make up, people watching. So now I don't buy into the idea that everything's already been done.
I agree.
What I do think is a bit of an issue as in our society is we don't have the same experiences in this realm anymore. So, if I walk, on campus and I talk to 10 different students and I say, "Oh, what are you watching right now?" I, except for a few outliers, like everybody's got their silos of content,
Mhm.
And so I think there's just such a bifurcation of like the audience that, we used to all go, I mean, I'm going to age myself a little bit, but it doesn't seem like that long ago. But we all watched like Seinfeld, like
Yeah.
we all, and then you would go to work or you go to school, you go to your college, like, oh, dude, you see that episode of whatever last night? Game of Thrones was another more recent example. Everybody was watching it. That's happening less and less and less. So like, not having the ability to like unify the market is a challenge for the industry because, when you want to spend or you want to do that blockbuster, there's a big concern that you're just not going to be able to get the audience together.
Look, so it's like when you just mentioned how people go like, oh, did you see that Seinfeld episode? Nowadays, people are doing that with streaming. People go back to like school and be like, yo, did you see that this streamer did this on this clip, or did you see that happened? It's weird. It's like, I like how you said that because it's like times obviously have changed. And not talking about like, oh, the episode or the new movie. It is like now it's like a lot of social media stuff or like streaming. And that came to my mind like immediately because I was like, we do that. We did that in high school with streaming. Like, oh, did you see the streamer did this?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like now, again, all my friends are all film majors, so we all talk about movies. But like everyone out of film majors, I'm like, oh my god, have you seen this clip of Queso or Kai Cenat?
Yeah.
Or all over social media? And no, it's
so the reason why I asked that question is because I with like when it comes to like movie reviewing and stuff, I listen to a lot of these people, and they're always talking about oversaturation. Everyone's like, oh, a lot of stories have already been done too much. We need something new. We need something fresh. We need something new. And there's always, more. You gotta give us something different. But I do agree that I think
what are they talking about?
It's more like a lot of movies that are coming out. People are like, oh, it didn't really blow me away because I've already seen that kind of stuff before and blah blah blah.
Horror movies or what?
It's almost like, besides horror, almost kind of like with almost mainly superhero stuff. But I've also heard people talk about it with other movies too. But I do agree with you when it comes to the fact that I don't think everything has been done. I think people use other ideas and put their own spin on it, which makes it unique.
I think like so. Again, part of it is like I watch a movie nowadays, and you could ask me like 20 minutes in, like what are the characters' names, and you're like, I don't know.
I've done that before. Yeah.
Well, because like the movie is almost like it's so caught up in the genre of what it is, like that. I think part of the problem is somewhere along the line we lost the ability to create truly unique characters because yes, we all kind of live similar themes throughout our lives, but it's the uniqueness of the experience. So it's the uniqueness of the observer. And I feel like somewhere along the way, we lost the ability as storytellers to be like, well, it's probably more about the observer or the main character, the protagonist, and how they interpret the themes. And that I think is what creates like really unique stories. This is about a unique person. But it seems to me like, and again, I'm not a movie buff. I don't watch a lot of movies. I mean, I got a 5-year-old and a 6-month-old. I watch more of like
Disney Channel.
Disney Channel.
Am I
than anything. I'm a Bluey aficionado. And I think Bluey's amazing, like in terms of storytelling. I mean,
yeah.
A Bluey?
Yeah, those 7-minute episodes.
They have a great theme song. I was bumping that in the car earlier.
It's not even the theme song. I mean, that show in 7 minutes can make an adult male cry.
It's I see what you're saying.
Incredible storytelling,
and you'll be hooked. If you'll be there, you're like,
I can sit there and watch Bluey with my son and enjoy it.
Exactly.
months. But I just watched The Sandlot the other day. I don't know if you guys have
Oh, I
that.
love that movie.
So good.
I love The Sandlot.
Oh my
Never
god,
seen it.
such
Is it comedy?
it's a great coming of age
my
film
God.
with like
Oh, it's amazing.
such unique characters in a time and space, and like you get a whole world. It's
The
it's such better. Yeah, the beast. It's such better storytelling in my opinion. The characters are interesting. You
I
buy
agree.
in.
I agree because Professor Fink tries to tell us that it's not about like it's about your character. Like he's big on like characters. Like what is your character doing? What's his thing? Like it's like and he focuses a lot on character and I agree with you on that. Like if it's an interesting protagonist or antagonist or a character in general, it's gonna make the movie interesting. But I do agree with you on that. But
Now you said that you are not really a huge movie buff, but when you like, are you a big documentary buff? Like, do you think narrative is the new way to go for filmmaking now?
well, first, just to give you some context, we got this idea from Jatala because I watched a movie called Warfare. I don't know if you saw it. It's on HBO Max. It's like a documentary style like thing about these Navy SEALs who got hurt in Iraq.
Mhm. It is a documentary, or
It's not a documentary, but it's filmed like it's a documentary. It's very interesting.
okay.
It's like dramatized.
But I mentioned it to Jatala, and he said that he thinks, this is just him, and this is what we're going to get into our next topic, that basically for the future of film, that he thinks that documentary narrative style, so like narrative films in documentary form, something like Oppenheimer, and the movie that I was just mentioning, that's going to be like the new wave of film. Like that's going to be the next big thing coming up in the next 10 years. I don't know if you can add to that, but that's just what he said. And I kind of see it because Oppenheimer was a big movie and this movie was
Sure, that's
good.
what he meant, because it's not necessarily a new idea to do a narrative in a documentary style. Maybe he meant that
Maybe.
well, maybe he meant that the way things are going with like AI and the fact that very soon, I mean it's already happening, but you're going to be able, like John Wayne's coming back, like all these actors are coming back.
Mhm.
We're going to be making movies with people that have died, and these movies are going to be made completely in computers, and it's absolutely crazy. But maybe he meant that documentary films, if you want to try to stay true, I guess, to filmmaking, that developing your skill set in that arena has more longevity than maybe narrative film.
Yeah, he might have said it along those lines because that's just what I don't know. Do you remember what he said about that? Because that's what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got like the same takeaway as what you did. How films are slowly merging over to the documentary style, and like you have all these big budget films they're spending $250 million plus on these films, but they're not grossing as much. But these narratives are just slowly changing the industry.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, that's just a takeaway I got from it.
Yeah, me
was
too.
the fact that a movie that's like supposed to be narrative, but it's in a documentary kind of a way. It was filmed in like a documentary way. Like we're watching it as almost a documentary, but it's not quite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you?
Well, so
Yeah,
the industry is it's changing, and it's changing rapidly. And maybe a good question is, would I suggest that anybody pursue filmmaking today? I'll have to think about that one.
I don't see why not. I mean, it depends. I mean, do you think AI is going to get rid of everyone's job? It's not going to get rid of your job. Not like being a DP. I don't think. But
yeah, soon. Yeah, it will. I believe it will.
But I don't think AI can copy the art of actually going on set and creating the look, though.
It's actually crazy. Yesterday I was just talking to a friend and I saw like that new AI actress, and bro, I thought it was real. Like,
it does look.
I'll have to, bro. Like, it's scary.
Sidetrack, Makita. Did you ever see a show on Netflix called Black Mirror? I think that's what it's called.
Of course.
Did you see the newest season?
No.
Well, there's an episode. I think it's episode 3. It's one of the greatest. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But it had exactly what you were talking about. It's called Hotel Reverie.
Awesome episode.
Yeah, where they remade an old 1930s movie with AI. But what they did was that they put this person, like a little clicker thing on the side of their head, but they put this person into that movie to play a certain character, but it was made with AI. And then over time in the episode, the AI started realizing that, yeah, I was an actual person in real life. But it's very interesting. I think you would like that episode, actually. called
It
Hotel
almost
River.
sounds like something we made this past weekend, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
It almost
See,
did.
this is why I don't watch anything, because I don't want anybody's ideas getting into my head, and that's the truth. I like watching the movies I've seen and the ones that have inspired me over and over again, rather than being like, you know, somebody else's
Plus,
energy or creativity like
Yeah.
get into my headspace. But so I guess the question is, AI taking everything over.
Yeah,
I
but do you
think
think also, before we get into AI real quick, actually, do you think anything's going to change for like your position or anybody else's position a little bit
Yeah.
before AI comes around? Because AI is going to take a while for it to fully come around. But what do you think is going to change before AI gets here?
Well, movies are going to start being made. Movies are going to be being made from scratch, every single element of it inside a computer.
Mm.
I mean, that's already happening.
Yeah.
So it's happening in animation. Like that's
obviously.
going to happen rapidly.
Avatar.
Well, no. There's a movie that's on cons right now that's a completely AI generated
Really?
film. Yeah. And that's just
Weird.
so we're gonna see, shrinkage in skilled animators, because AI is going to be able to take a render, and you're going to be able to tell AI what to do with it, and it's going to do it. So
Scary.
that's going to happen rapidly, and then if it's not already happened, but yeah, so this is what I think is going to happen over the next like decade. So there's going to be a rapid push, because uh, you know this is a capitalist society, right? So the objective is always to do more with less, so that you can maximize profits. Like in anything that you do. That's why our industry right now in the States, like we're down, like I've heard as high as 70% in terms of productions, because everything is going where it's cheaper to make.
Yeah.
Crew's cheaper. They're as skilled, if not, some places more skilled. So the industry's already trying to do everything for cheaper. So it's just a matter of time before they go, well, this scene we did with AI because it was cheaper, and and then this whole movie we did with AI because it's cheaper. And actors are going to sign over their likeness. They're not going to even have to act in films. They're just going to have to sign over their likeness, and
Insane.
That's crazy.
they'll be generated 100%.
That's almost scary.
So
Well,
Because it's going to get rid of the creative aspect, is it not? I mean, where's the talent? Where's the art in that? Right? I mean, yeah, you're making a computer, you're telling a computer what to put into it, because you're going to tell AI, I want this and that and this and that. But I think actually physically doing it is a different kind of talent.
Of course. So there's going to be this market, this indie film market that I think is going to explode out of that. So for us indie filmmakers, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to make films as we rebuke that and say no. Let's stay true to the art and protect the art form. And
I hope so.
That's going to happen, and then we're going to lose because that's what happens.
No,
That's what happens with everything.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
the next generation is going to have a different outlook on it, and be like, yeah, well, we don't really care.
Yeah, we don't need you old heads.
So
You're creating movies.
So do you think that everyone should follow the AI trend right now, or try and keep and preserve the original way of filmmaking?
So I think there's the way that I'm approaching it is a mix. So I'm using AI for, editing and post work,
Oh my God. Yeah.
especially in the photography and design work that I do. Yeah, like generative AI, like all that stuff has been game changing.
It does it for you. Literally, Photoshop denoises your images, and Adobe has a thing where it cleans up your audio for you. It's so easy.
I'm gonna use. But just think about that. So I used to have to pay like sound designers to take my audio, and use something like Isotope to clean all that up.
Mhm.
So just think how. So I had a guy that I was paying pretty often until Adobe Podcaster came out.
Yes.
And
My
everybody will say
favorite.
this. And now I don't.
You don't need it. You don't need it. Makita, literally, the project that we submitted to you for nonfiction, all that audio is through, the Adobe AI podcast. We clean up all the audio. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All you have to do is take your audio file, your export audio file, place it in there, mess
Boom.
with the
It's like
percentage.
it's amazing.
You know, it's insane. You're right about that. But like I said, it's kind of scary.
Taking over people's jobs slowly but surely.
Not even take people's jobs, but like he said, people are gonna try to preserve the old way of doing things.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna
Well,
happen.
it's not going to happen, but there's going to be this moment. It's going to last, I'm saying a decade, but 10 to 15 years, and I'm trying to capitalize on that.
Of
And
course.
we're like, okay, well, let's preserve the art form and let's make some really good stuff, and let's find the investors that are interested in preserving the art form, and the people that are interested in preserving the art form, and there's going to be a boom there for sure. And then, when this is all gray, it'll die.
Yeah, and I think once people realize it gets cheaper, it's gonna
Again,
take
it's a
over.
capitalist society. It's what's. I mean, there's always going to be the it's like the people that go out and take photos with with 35 millimeter film.
Yeah, exactly.
And put those photos in an art gallery, and somebody goes, "Oh wow, that's beautiful. I'm going to buy it."
Yeah.
That's always going to exist, but it's
Mhm.
going to be like taking photos with 35 millimeter film.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you even said, speaking of boom, and you even mentioned this earlier about the boom of indie films. We're going to our first hot take of the episode.
We are gonna go into our first hot take, and I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
Are indie films, do they have more heart? So this is what we wrote down. Indie films have more heart than 90% of the blockbusters coming out now.
Well, I think anytime that you get big and corporate, I think you do run the risk of losing some of the heart, right? Because
Mhm.
you have so many different interests that are involved, and
Justice League.
yeah,
It's a
I
perfect
think it's
example.
just-
Pretty
I
example.
think naturally with scale, right?
Mhm.
Start-
I
start
agree
to
with
lose
you.
some of the-
I
some of the
agree
heart.
with you. I agree with you. But going off what we were talking about just now, with the independent filmmaking, like you said, there's going to be a boom in the independent film world. What are like we were talking about, the AI and stuff like that, and also I think Jatala mentioned this too, or you, I don't remember who did, but they said that independent is going to take over the big budget. I think also Jatala mentioned like independent by the means of you're only going to need $1 million or $2 million to make a great movie, and the whole 150 million, $200 million movie is going to be dead soon. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, there will still be like blockbusters, but they're already, trying to get those budgets down as much as they can. I mean, obviously, but you know, like I said, I would hope, or I believe that with all this artificial, intelligence, whatever you want to call it, coming into the space, that there is going to be the people the purists that want, good stories done by real people, and with the democratization of the technology, and everything getting less and less expensive. Yeah, I think that $1 million to $10 million feature film, I think there's going to be a lot of them. I think we're gonna have a lot of great stories, almost like a renaissance like we had in TV and filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to happen. Um and like I said, I hope to kind of position myself to be part of that movement.
Do you also think that maybe possibly even like the $100,000 to $500,000 range might have a boom too, like for those kind of feature films?
Yeah, I think so. At some point, it does get a little bit more complicated because you just need to be able to reach people. Like you could make an amazing, let's just say $50,000 film,
Mhm.
but if you don't have the resources to get in front of people's eyes, like you need those budgets too. Like a lot of people forget, like you need marketing budgets.
For sure.
You need to be able to get your movie in front of people in order for it to hopefully make money, sell.
For
So,
sure. But
so
I think also AI can help with that too, right? That's going back to the topic of AI. I mean, that can also help, I think.
I think AI can help with a lot of different things.
I think
It can help with like budgeting your film.
exactly.
Yeah.
It can help with marketing strategy. It is. I almost a little bit of me is like, because I run a boutique like marketing agency. And part of me is like, what did I do? Like, how did I write all this all this stuff before AI? Like,
Uh-huh.
I spent so much time like just writing copy and campaigns and like all this stuff, and now I can do it in a fraction of the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I almost forget, it's a little bit scary. I almost forget how to do it.
It's interesting because I can you can because I was literally complaining to him the other day for our fiction film. I was like, I need a title. But I was like, for our before Chat GPT came up when we were doing our films in high school, we had to come up with our titles. In my mind, I'm like, how did I come up with my title? You know what I mean? It's like, how did I come up with a very interesting title?
Yeah.
Now it's like I need Chat GPT's help. Just in my mind, I'm like,
and so I do think, I do think that's also something that we gotta be very careful as artists, like, because as humans, like, we already know that the human body will, whatever the easiest path to anything, like, your body will stop producing dopamine if you give it to it in a different way. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful, as artists, to not get weak-minded.
And that's very true.
Literally what I was
very true.
I was scared of myself. I was like, I gotta make sure I don't get uncreative.
Yeah, you sit there, you're like,
at least I don't get
so
uncreative.
Easy to just turn on that app.
Oh, it's so easy.
And like, when it starts to become like the first thought, like, okay, I got to come up with something. Sure.
Time is going insane right now on ChatGPT. You guys just don't look at it. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we gotta, I think, as artists, we got to make sure that we stay on top of our game, because it is going to be the creativity that differentiates. And whatever they want to call it, like, we'll call it AI, but it's literally the internet. It's the amalgamation of, like, all the information that's been pumped into the internet over the last however many years. And that's what we're dealing with. It can use the web as a neural net to basically predict language, but it's just feeding you information that's inside the internet. It's not coming up with any of this stuff.
That's true. That is true.
So you're way beyond what AI can even.
I like that.
Yeah.
What it can do. You're way beyond it, but it'd be very easy to give yourself over to the simplicity of it and the
For sure.
swiftness of it.
Because, like, when I was telling you about the Chat GPT thing, I actually had to stop myself and go, you know what? I'm not going to use the Chat. I can't be uncreative. So then I finally came up with a title. But I was like, I can't be uncreative. I agree with you. The simpler that you try, the more you use it, the simpler it's going to get, the more you're going to want to use it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. You take the easy way.
And so right now, with you saying that the industry is just super changing right now, we got the AI booming, we got indie films booming now, blockbusters kind of doing a little downfall. What advice do you have for someone who is just starting in the industry or someone who's already in it?
I would say get back to basics, because the only thing that's going to be separating you from your peers or your competitors is the creativity. Like, I would read the classics. I would get back to reading books. I would strengthen my ability to be outside of the ecosystem that everybody else wants to play in right now. So I would get back to basics.
Okay, nice.
Like basics on, like, writing a story or, like, technical aspects of setting up a scene.
Yeah, sit down and actually, with, like, a blank page and just write, like, journal, like, get back to the things that, I mean, again, so AI is using all the great stuff that's been created by people who had no AI. That's what we're dealing with right now. So, yeah, get back into your creative energy and work on those skills that are,
So what about the people who don't do the creative stuff? They're just like the groundwork, like grips or gaffers or sound mixers, people like that. When at some point AI or something is just going to change to where we might not even need those guys anymore.
Well, you're going to need those guys. I mean, like, grips and gaffers, those guys are, a lot of them have, like, backgrounds in, like, construction work and stuff like that. That's a little bit of a different
yeah, you're right.
Different thing. They're unionized, right? Like, those guys have a completely different skill set. If you're talking about the creative, like, those guys are going to have a role until we have robots that can
do it for them,
do all that work. But as of right now, we don't have that. And that's probably the thing that's the furthest away, right? Is, like, the actual labor of moving things from point A to point B, or rigging things, or You know, even like steady cams and stuff like that. Although, I do think that there are going to be robots soon. I mean, we already have the DJI
The
cameras,
DJI one, yeah.
right? So all you have to do is attach a robot to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
just
map out the shots.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, but there's still going to be a DP there that's making, you know, the
lighting,
the composition choices,
yeah.
the lighting choices, you know, all those kind of different things. So, and there'll still be an art designer that sets up, you know, the sets and you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, but in the creative space, um, strengthening those muscles to where, like, you know, because everybody's out there like, oh, dude, I wrote a script, and you read the script and you're like, did you write this?
Or is this?
I mean, I'm a teacher, you know, like, if you, no, I don't. I saw that that little writing assignment I did. This is nothing like how you write, you know. So, um, so being able to differentiate yourself and just work on strengthening your mind and don't be dependent on
I
AI.
agree. I think that's definitely going to separate the people from who actually want to do it or who want to take the easy way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's definitely going to. No, I agree with you on that.
For sure.
For sure.
100%.
AI is a crazy thing. It is scary, but I think we also have to adapt. We also have to adapt the way that it's changing. And now we're getting into the last couple minutes here of the podcast. And we're going to ask our three usual things. We're going to do one hot take, one, at least for you, since you were our guest, we're going to do one top three favorite movies. And then we'll get into, you know, well, all three of us, one of our movie recommendations for the week. But first,
I do want to include one more hot take as well.
Let's hear it.
One additional. So this is going back to the very beginning of the podcast when you said that you were in musical theater. Second hot take now.
Yeah, let's have some fun with it.
What is your favorite musical theater show in Broadway?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, I have heard about that one.
Nice.
Isn't that a
Little Shop?
Yeah,
Little Shop of
I've heard about that one.
Yeah.
Everyone talked about that one.
Nice.
I've heard about that one. Well, what's so special about that one though? I've never seen it. Like I've heard of it.
I love the music, but not only that, I just love the creativity of the show all around. And it's just a fun show to be a part of, and it's a fun show to go see, and
that's awesome.
It's just a great show.
Well, speaking of love and stuff, I know you said that you're a huge movie buff and you love movies and you watch them every single night.
I know you're a comedy guy though. You always talk about comedy, which is funny because one of my assignments I'm basing it off of Tommy Boy. You know that scene where Tommy Boy's on the boat and he's yelling at the kids? Like when the boat's sinking kind of like halfway and he's yelling at the kids. I'm doing what
I love Tommy Boy, and I don't know why I can't remember. Are you?
He's there going, he's like, I'm going to go over there and cram an aura. I'm not going to say the rest of it, but he's like, I'm going to cram an aura.
Up your butt.
There's a funny scene where he's there with I forgot the lady's name, but he's there with the girlfriend. And he's on a boat and the boat's half mast in the water. You know what I mean? The kids are going, Gilligan, did you eat the skipper? You know?
Yeah. Is that Tommy Boy? Or is that
It's Tommy Boy.
Okay.
It's with Chris Farley. Yeah, Tommy Boy.
Yeah, and then the woman goes ahead and she screams at the kids and threatens them about their life and knowing where you're gonna be. and then he's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. But that gets into our
our question for the episode. So speaking of loving movies, what is your 3 top movies?
Like, what's your favorite?
3 top movies.
Definitely Interstellar's up there, right?
Right?
No, I hate Interstellar. A lot of my students know.
Anybody that knows if he hates Interstellar. Okay.
Yeah, I can't stand it. All right, I'm gonna have to say, like, one of my favorite movies is an Alexander Payne movie called Sideways with Paul Giamatti.
I've heard.
I love the character of like a middle-aged kind of, and I liked it before I was a middle-aged man dealing with, you know, thoughts of his legacy and stuff. But I've always liked that character. I don't know why. I think it was probably because some of the books that my dad used to make me read when I was a kid. My dad used to make me do book reports and this.
Oh, that's fun.
Really?
Yeah, I hated it.
Did you read Harry Potter?
Dude, you know, one of the books, Jaws.
Really?
Was it good?
So Jaws, my dad didn't know this, has like these graphic sex scenes.
Oh, really? They show that in the movie.
It's one of those types of books, huh?
Right, and I'm pretty sure my dad didn't know it when he gave it to me to read, and so that one was a bit of a shocker. But Jaws is a great film, also.
Yeah, amazing film. Yeah.
But Sideways is one of my favorite. I'm gonna have to go with an animated film just because I watched so many of them at this time. But
John Wall.
The Incredibles.
Yes. 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 See, our last episode, we had a whole hot take about, is Lion King considered better than all Pixar movies? I said it is not better than The Incredibles. Incredibles, I think, is probably the best, either WALL-E or Incredibles, but I'm leaning toward Incredibles now. I'm a little older, is probably the best Pixar movie.
Yes, I think Incredibles is a perfect movie, and it's one of the few movies that the sequel is also really good.
I love the sequel too, and bro, everybody was hating on the sequel.
He was being so happy.
No, because I was telling him, because he goes, no, it's not better than Lion King. I'm like, you don't understand watching it from when you were 5 years old to now that you're a lot older. And you're like,
Hey, I said WALL-E.
I know you said WALL-E, but you didn't say The Incredibles was number one.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't understand. You know,
Incredibles is great, and then I'm gonna give you two more. So, The Usual Suspects.
Okay, I think I've seen that one.
Which is a Kaiser Sose, Kevin Spacey.
I know Kevin Spacey, but I don't think I've seen
The Usual Suspects. I'm not going to tell you anything else. But if you want to watch a great crime thriller, a great crime movie, Usual Suspects, and then since we talked about comedy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
All right.
I've never heard of those. I'm gonna have to write those down. Are those comedies or are those just regular like?
The Usual Suspects is like a crime thriller.
Oh, I love crime thrillers because. Ooh, okay.
And Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a comedy.
Okay, interesting. Are those able? Am I able to find those on? I'm probably able to find those on streaming.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Cool. We're gonna have to watch those for sure. Very interesting because your taste in movies is completely different than ours for sure. But I'm glad that you said The Incredibles. I'm glad.
But speaking of taste in movies, this goes into our last and final hot take of the episode. And it is, the real problem isn't remakes. It's that we keep pretending we need them. What do you think?
Ooh.
Yeah, so I guess one of the films that I watched recently that was absolutely...
I know which one you're going to say.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh my God, it was terrible. He's the only one that sat here and looked at me straight in the face as a grown man. I like Happy Gilmore too.
I just said it was funny, okay?
It was not funny. There was nothing funny about the movie, but continue. Sorry, I had to say.
There was really nothing funny.
Okay. I think the
other
one
than
finds it funny then.
A couple moments with like Bad Bunny.
Oh, come on.
Okay, he was like the most unfunny person there.
That was the only person that made me smile. Nothing else.
Breadsticks?
Yeah, nothing else. Nothing else worked in my opinion. But yeah, the whole bringing back these old movies. What's the one that's Spaceballs?
Oh my God, I heard that they were going to remake that movie. I was like, why? They're going to
hope that just falls through. I hope they just don't do that. But Planes, Trains, John Candy is in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as well. But no, yeah, they gotta stop with this regurgitating like
the IP.
Because not only do they do a poor job, it kind of ruins the first one too.
Like even like the Moana live action coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little okay. We already have two. The second one was pretty good, but now we're making a live action.
Yeah, live actions are Look, I like Beauty.
I will probably see Moana the live.
Oh, I love Moana.
Well, you gotta take your kids to go see it.
But not only that, I do still like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So.
Yeah, well,
I would like to see him play Maui.
Yeah,
in real life.
Well,
that's the only reason I'm gonna go.
I agree with what he said. That
I agree, but it's just saying like it's so many remakes now. Yeah. Instead of it being original, it's all remakes.
Well, we're mostly talking about Disney. Disney with their, remaking everything live action and doing it worse, absolutely terribly. Yeah, they need to stop.
Snow White.
Sorry.
They're out of ideas, obviously.
They're
out of ideas. Although, did you guys see Soul?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Pixar movie! I love that movie. As a band kid, I love that movie.
What a good movie! I feel like
awesome.
Love that movie.
We just put it on one night. We were like, we never saw this one. I mean, this was like maybe a year ago, but I was just like, oh my God,
amazing movie.
This is a great movie.
Ben, did you see that movie?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
That's
we're all
awesome.
band kids here. And the movie's we
Awesome.
love the jazz band. You know,
Yeah.
the movie's great. It's such a, when I first watched it, I was like, it's such an interesting trope on just the afterlife. Super interesting, super interesting. But real quick, we're getting into our last thing for the episode, and we usually do this at the end of every episode. I give my movie recommendation for the week. He gives his, and you're gonna give yours this time. So you want to go first, or one of us go first? What do you think?
I think ours. I think I
I mean, does it?
Let's
is
do
it
it.
that should go
Well,
first.
Is it like a throwback movie or?
Doesn't it?
Just
Whatever
your
movie you want
choice.
the audience to watch this week.
Well, I think everybody should watch The Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah,
We're definitely gonna have to
watch
watch
The
it.
Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Don't read anything about it. Don't look at anything about it, and just watch The Usual Suspects.
I think from mine that you said about crime thrillers, or how you enjoy that genre, I think I'm gonna go for 7 with young Morgan Freeman and young Brad Pitt.
You know, I still have to see that movie.
Amazing movie.
I still have to see that movie. Definitely still have to see that. So mine is going to be this, and I said this in a video on my I'm going to post soon on my TikTok.
Incredibles.
No, not The Incredibles. It's funny because I didn't like the first I actually like the new Beetlejuice movie compared to the first Beetlejuice movie. So my movie recommendation this week is going to be the newest Beetlejuice movie with Jenna Ortega. I thought it was more entertaining than the first one,
I liked it.
even though you can't beat a classic, but it's more entertaining than the first one. I don't know if you've seen the first one, Makita.
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
The second one is nice. It's cool to see Tim Burton in a new modern way of film. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But there we go. Thank you for being a guest on our podcast today. We really appreciate it. And is there anywhere where anybody can find you? Like social medias? I know. Social
My
media.
Instagram is Natimus Prime. I think I posted 2 years ago.
Okay.
My website is nathanmakita.com.
Awesome. Awesome.
Check them out. Go check them out.
And thank you for being a guest on our podcast. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And until next time, for you, thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks for having me. See you guys on Thursday.
It's Thursday. For
Thursday.
class. Yes, sir. And that is all for our 4th episode of the podcast.
There we go. There we go.
Finally had that guess we guys told you.
Yeah. So just to end it off, you can find us at In a Nutshell Podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, YouTube. I think I hit all of them. You
Yes.
can find me, Ryan Filmworks, TikTok and Instagram. And how about you?
Same thing. TikTok and Instagram at the filmmaker Daniel. And same thing. Podcast. Find the podcast on all those platforms. And as always, catch you all on the next one. Take care.